Hey there, and welcome to the Creatives Get Real podcast. I am Roben-Marie Smith.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about creative life.
Hey, Sandi.
Oh, you got to go first.
I
Hey,
did.
Roben-Marie. Way to jump in there. Good for you.
I was like, I'm going to say hey first this time.
Good.
What do we got for this episode?
So this is part 2 of our really long, but I think tons of information about organizing art spaces or creative spaces, whatever it is that you make or do.
Yes, and it was this is part 2. So we've already shared and published part 1. So if you haven't listened to part 1, you'll want to make sure you do, and then you can pop into this one and catch the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so let's get to it.
Okay.
You work a lot with paper. How do you organize all your papers?
Yeah, that I get asked that a lot, and I'm always experimenting. Like I'm always figuring out, is there a better way for me to do this? And one thing I recently did, and again, with much like my brushes and my pens and paper and pencils, I have priorities. Like these are my favorites, and there's like this graduation level. One of the things I did when I first organized my studio space was in one of the dressers, there's two drawers, and in one of the drawers is all neutrals, like all of my handwritten letters, book paper, anything that's just natural or black and white. Like that's what's in that drawer. And then the second drawer is anything that has color. So anything that's colorful or whatever is in that. So I always know I don't have to dig through two different, I don't have to dig through one thing to find what I'm looking for. So that's just sort of like when I need some stuff that's new. Like I have my stash that I'm always working with, and then I need to go to the drawer and see if there's anything new that catches my eye kind of thing.
And are they just like put in the drawer? Do you have them standing up?
Nope,
are they in the file folders? Just open the drawer and throw
they're
it
just,
in?
it's because it's just a dresser drawer. Yeah, they're just in there. But what I did was I took, I don't even know if they still do this, but soda cans used to come in a cardboard holder. Like they were kind of like a long, looks like a tray, but it's cardboard.
So
and
like
so
a case.
Yeah, and it's not really high. And so I've got those in there. So I can lift it out if I need to, because it's in a drawer. You can't lift it out. So if I ever need to lift the big, the bunches of them out, I can do that. So that's how I keep like the extra stash. And then recently what I started doing, I thought, I was organizing everything by size, because for me, that's a little bit easier. And I have one basket that I have folders in. And so everything is kind of organized, like handmade papers, papers that I've made myself. And then even some text papers and things. Those are the things that are like right on the table, right on my art table that I use. And then I had smaller papers, like small bits and pieces that I had in like little tins or things like that. And I got to thinking, maybe there's a better way to do this. So recently I decided to organize the medium to small pieces by color. And so I set it up where one day I put a movie in, went through all the papers, and I had these little plastic, just those little, you can get Rubbermaid plastic small containers. And I started, okay, here's yellow, red, blue, green, white, whatever. And I just went through my stash. And what I did was even went through some of the bigger papers and just tore parts of them out. Like, okay, I love this. Let's take a piece of it, stick it in with the yellow or whatever. I didn't need the whole big piece of it, just needed the small bits of it.
Right.
And then because I wanted them to be mobile as well as use them in my studio space, I bought these Glassine envelopes, and they're relatively clear. They're kind of crinkly. I don't know the best way to describe them, but they're, if you buy postage stamps, sometimes they stick them in those like Glassine envelopes. And so I bought some big bags, and they're flat. And so I just put the color categories are in each bag. So I can see through them, and I know which color's in there. And so when I'm working on a project or whatever, I need certain colors, I can just open it up, dig through it, find the little color I need. Or if I need more, if I'm on a table where I've got extra space, I just take the pile out, set it on the little envelope, and I can work through it. And that seems to be working really well for me. In fact, I'm out of town right now, and that's exactly what I brought. put all those little envelopes into a zipper pouch, and then I can just pull out whichever envelope I need, and I've got the colors there. And, you know, if it came to a huge project, I could always take them out and, you know, put those into another little, you know, bowl or a plastic container or whatever if I needed to. And that's really been working well for me. I didn't realize that it's not by size that it wasn't working as effectively. Now that I'm doing them by color, I'm like, wow, this is way better for me. And so I really like that, doing it that way. So I sort of, like I said, I have these graduations of, you know, I've got the main storage, then I've got the bigger pieces in a basket and folders. And then now I've got, and I still, even on my tabletop, I still have some little containers where I can like thumb through. Cause the last project I worked on, I needed paper, a lot of paper.
Yeah, you did.
I just organized it where I could just kind of thumb through it. But it was a tough one because, well, I have a lot of it, but it's like figuring out what's the best way to organize it for you and how you work. And right now, doing it by color it's been good, because now I know what I'm looking for. I need something in this color green. I can just go to my greens. And by taking bits and pieces from the bigger papers, I don't have to lug all the paper around. I just, you know, the smaller parts of it. So I hope that makes sense. It's hard to, it's hard to verbalize something visual, you know, when we're doing this. So, yeah.
So if someone else was interested in your Glassine envelopes, where did you find them?
Where did I get those? I think I got them on Amazon.
I
think, and there's different sizes, and you can get them. These are just flat. Like there's some big ones, and then there's some other sizes of them. I'll put the exact name of what they are in the show notes. So if anybody's looking, they'll understand what they are. So
they sound cool.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just like them because, I mean, you can use Ziploc bags, but they're floppy, and I don't like the Ziploc bags as much as the Glassine envelopes. So
yeah, it sounds really pretty.
Yeah,
I'd be interested in seeing those.
It seems to be working.
A link, please.
I can just stick them in a zipper pouch and boop, throw them in my bag, and I'm ready to go. So
awesome. You mentioned carts before. I have a cart here. I have a cart in the mountains. Do you love, now when we talk about carts, we're talking about the 3-tiered rolling carts. They sell them at Michael's and IKEA. I've gotten one at Sam's Club. What do you use carts for?
You know, I think you're a bigger fan of carts than me. I have one cart, and when I first redid the studio space, I thought, well, if I have the cart kind of right next to I have a bench in my studio space rather than a chair, because that worked better for me. Because I was up and down a lot, and sometimes I like to stand while I work, and a chair was just not convenient. And a bench, I can just push under the table or bring it out. So that was like one of the best decisions I made. But so I got a cart. I think it's 3-tiered, and pretty much everything that's on it is paint. In the very top are like small bottles of paint. Then I've got like my high flows, my fluid acrylics. And then in the very bottom, I have things like a roll of paper towels, baby wipes, masking tape, just odds and ends and all. But the thing is, I don't find that I use it as often as I did when I first redid the studio space. And maybe that's just not, I don't know. I don't seem to be using it quite as much. I walk over to where it is, and I get the paint, and I bring the paint to the table. Which is like,
you're not rolling it.
I'm not rolling it. So yeah, but I maybe that's just me. It just didn't seem to, work as well as maybe I thought. But I know you like it.
I do. I love my cart. What I do similar as you, my first row is all my acrylic paints, which right now are drying up as my favorite child right now is watercolor, so I'm ignoring my acrylics. But yeah, it's all my acrylics. And then my second row, like you, is things like paper towels, baby wipes, artist tape, those kind of things that I'm constantly going for, even with watercolor. And then the bottom is like specialty items, colored pencils, oil pastels, those kinds of things that I use, but maybe not use that often.
Yeah.
So they're on the bottom. But I grab that sucker and I pull it right beside my chair, and it's just more storage for whatever I need right there.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the cart, and I can push it, back into a corner so it's out of the way.
Yeah.
But I bet you your husband would love that cart if you decide you don't want it.
Oh, I'm sure he would. He'd put fishing supplies in it. He'd put
Yeah.
bait and tackle in it.
But it would be a great garage organizer if you decide, honey, look what I got for you.
Yeah, but you know him though. He'd look at it and he goes, no, there's no space in here. I don't want it in here. He's very picky about his garage. He doesn't like anything in his garage.
Okay, so maybe not.
Yeah, like the only thing I'm allowed to put in the garage is my bike and my car.
It's his space.
Wait.
His studio.
I have a lawn chair and I have a beach umbrella in there. That's about it. Yeah. But that's okay though. He doesn't put stuff in my creative space either. So
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So what else are like your top, I couldn't live without this, like your mugs and your drawers.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I have this, I got to tell you, I really like my table. I really do. And what I did, and maybe this is a good time to share this. I love my art table. I really do. It's a table. It's a piece of furniture, which goes with kind of the theme of my room. And it has a drawer on either end. And so I'm able to put the cords for, say, my heat tool in there, or my box lights, my sewing machine. But what I did was I ran an extension cord from, it runs from the outlet, and then I have it run across the floor a little bit, and I put one of those little covers over it so you don't, trip on it. Then it comes up through that desk drawer, and then I ran it add an extension to it. It runs under the table, like underneath the top of the table, to the other drawer, so that I can plug stuff in to that other drawer, but then I don't have another extension cord going out from it. I don't know if that makes sense. I got really clever with the way that it worked.
Okay, so just go through it one more time.
Okay.
So one drawer houses.
Well, they both have cords in them, but via an extension cord, and like my and like my heat tool is in one, and I just plug it in and I can sit it in the drawer, which is great. But the extension cord runs underneath the table, underneath the top of the table, and I use like little zip ties to connect it up. So if you looked under the table, you'd see an extension cord running the length of my table.
Gotcha.
To the other drawer. So I can plug lamps in, I can plug a light box, I can plug in my extension cord, my sewing machine.
Okay.
I love my table. It's just
that was
functional with the two drawers on the end, and then being able to run the extension cord on it. So I also have this, and I get asked about this all the time. There's actually two of them. I got them at like a TJ Maxx or a Home Goods, and they have these little drawer cubbies that you can pull them out, and then they can be removed and set on the table. And I have glue sticks in there, brushes, or I have some pencils. I've got there are so many different things in the drawers, but I can pull the drawer out and then just bring it over to the table. But they're really pretty and they look kind of nice. That was one thing I love, that I'm really glad I found those and snatched those up. What other things? I mean, I got my mugs, my wood boxes. Yeah, off the top of my head, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Yeah.
So for me, it's like I said, the acrylic organizers. One thing that I love and I use constantly is I have those this is one of those things where you're trying to describe something that's difficult. I think they're called file folder organizers.
Okay.
And so imagine it stands up and it has slots where you would put file folders, and it's white and it's pretty and it's wooden, and all those different sections I organize different things. I like to put my watercolor papers by brand in there. So if I'm looking for Canson, I want to practice, I know where it is, and then I don't grab my really expensive papers. And I like to organize papers that way too, is in those file folder organizing. I love beautiful file folders. I buy those a lot too. It makes a great substrate for all kinds of different journaling and things, or to organize your papers. So I
Yep.
really enjoy those. And you know those, I guess they're gift boxes that are beautiful. The lid comes up and there's usually like a magnet on the flap. So it's
Oh yeah.
beautiful. And a lot of times they're stacked, or they'll have
Yes.
3 or 4 sizes of the same pattern. That's how I keep my paper. I don't have the amount of paper, you know, like decorative paper or collage paper that you do, but that's where I put mine, is in those boxes, because they look really pretty, you know, just sitting out. And there's a mess inside of them and it's hidden.
Exactly.
So I like that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I just really love. Like you know, I'd like to have little decorative things around here and there, but not too much, because, you know, we have so many supplies.
Yep.
And then the other thing that I'm obsessed with is notebooks and pads. Are you a part of this too?
Oh boy, it's bad. I am. And I think, when am I ever going to use all these? But I can't help it. It goes back to my childhood, you know, the start of school, and
Yes.
notebooks and folders and Trapper Keeper, if anybody
Yes.
remembers those. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, you and I both have that addiction. That's for sure. Love it.
And I'm going to say that, you know, I am always willing to admit, I'm an admitter. I'm willing to admit when something's my fault. This is not my fault. I'm really going to say that. Yes, I am. I'm going there. Because the companies now, there are like 3 or 4 companies that I don't care what it is. I want it.
Rifle paper.
Rifle. Mine is Clementine.
Oh, Clementine. Yes, they have good ones. Yeah.
Just the most gorgeous florals. And I always say, well, this is inspiring. I can use this. Yeah, right. I'm the only one that believes that.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I do look at them and get inspired, but oh my gosh, portfolio pads, notebooks, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And yeah, when college time comes around and those big collections come out, you just have to handcuff me to a chair, because I am in Home Goods once a week going, oh, here's the same one, but it's pink instead of turquoise.
Exactly.
I need this one too.
Exactly. I know. And I literally have filled a drawer with every size of like notebook, pads, whatever. And now I have to confess, they are spilling out, and I need to figure out something, because this last season, oh my word, I started at TJ Maxx with some stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, they were so beautiful. And I'm like,
They are. So that's why I'm saying it's not our fault.
No, and do you do this? Because I don't know if you do this. I'll say, oh, this would make a great gift. Oh, this would make a great gift.
I don't even say that.
And then it's a year later and I still have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't bother saying that. But what I will do, and I often do, is I buy 2. It's like, I know somebody, first one, oh, that's mine. But I know someone who needs this.
Yeah, I've done that too. You and I, we do that with each other. We always gift each other. Yeah, because we know it's easy.
Yeah. And I know that when you have gone to the mountains with me and we get in the car, I have handed you a portfolio pad and said, here.
Exactly. And a pretty clipboard too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, clipboards. Oi.
I know it. It's bad. We have an addiction. We know that. And that's not even an art supply. No. Well, technically, it's not an art supply.
Technically, it's not.
Business stuff.
It's a business supply. I'm doing air quotes and laughing. It's a business supply.
I know. It's like I'll say to my husband, it's a business expense. He goes, do you need all of these? Yeah, every single one of them.
All 42 of them, I have a specific need.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's funny. So as a wrap up, I'm going to ask you this question. I didn't tell you in advance, so get ready.
Oh, you do this to me. Okay, go ahead.
All the time. I'm sorry. Now I forgot what my question was.
Okay. Well, then that's that. Yeah. Okay.
No, I remembered. what is the one, like the most important thing you learned from redoing your room that you now understand about you as an artist and how you work? What's the big takeaway for you from that horrible then fabulous experience?
This is something that I didn't realize I had learned until well after. So I don't know if that qualifies.
It
And I
qualifies.
think that you helped me see it, and I didn't realize it at the time, at least not right away. One, my art changed. I created differently. I created more often. I felt different. I felt worthy. I felt this. I don't want to use the word deserve, but it's okay for me to have a really nice space because I am an artist and I am creative. And I think that it isn't just these fine artists or people who create these amazing things who get to have a space that looks nice and pretty. I can have that too, and that's okay. And maybe there was this part of me that kept it in chaos and wasn't taking care of it, or didn't feel like maybe I really deserved to have that, or I wasn't a serious enough artist or creative to be able to have that space. And so I didn't. And my whole mindset changed after I took it seriously and said, I'm going to make this work and I'm going to make it nice. And I can do it with a very low budget. I don't want anybody to think that I spent a ton of money on it, because I didn't. I got some of the furniture from Big Lots. I mean, it's real wood furniture, but it wasn't expensive. And I made my curtains out of a quilt, so you can do this on a low budget. But I feel like, I don't know if I explained that.
No, you did, because I'm trying not to cry.
Oh, well,
that was beautiful.
Oh, okay. But I have trouble verbalizing that feeling of, you know what? I think it just changed everything from that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on what you just said, and maybe we will someday, because as a coach, this is something that I hear all the time. Women, I know there are men artists out there, but women especially struggle with a sense of worthiness. We do so much for so many other people, and they're always first in a lot of our lives. And we do for ourselves last. So what you just said was beautiful and powerful. And yes, sister, yes. Yeah, that was huge. Gosh, I thought you were going to talk about cups and pens. Not make me cry.
Oh, if I was there, I'd give you a hug.
Thank you.
But it was deeper than that. It wasn't just the pens. And the thing is, I didn't know it at the time. I didn't realize. And I think it just came to it. Yeah, I've said it. That's just what I realized. And I feel like it did take a little bit of time, but yeah, that was it. How about you? I mean, you asked me the question. What do you?
Yes. Mine was, if you want to talk deep stuff, which you just did beautifully. Mine was, the question that my sister asked me, and that is, who is the artist that you are now? And coming to terms with, I'm not who I used to be. I've grown as an artist. I've grown as a person, and my room should reflect that. And it is about taking yourself and your art and your passion more seriously, and giving it more weight in your life, and honoring it by making a beautiful space that you come into. And yes, there are times when it's not a beautiful space because it's messy.
But that's different. Yeah. That's not quite the same.
Yeah. Because underneath that mess, when I spend the 15 minutes, that beauty comes back.
That's right.
And it reminds us of who we truly are as creatives.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah. And, we know that not everyone has, this space. I used to work on the dining room table. I didn't have a space, it took a long time. But whatever space you do have, even if it's the corner of the living room or a small space, find, where can you make a space for yourself that can be nice and functional and pretty and be just for you, where you can feel like I've got that little bit right there where I can work from. And as Sandi said, take it seriously, take and be like, I deserve this. I hate using that word because it's so I deserve, but it's okay to give yourself a space and an area, whatever, to be able to do. And if you need to make it mobile to where you bring it out when you work, then make those things pretty and make those things nice and organized so that you don't feel overwhelmed when you bring your things out to be able to create. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's right. And let's say you are working on the dining room table and you have to clean up every time. If you use, I would think a cart might be the perfect example.
Yes.
Because you could throw that into a coat closet or,
That's right.
the pantry, wheel that out. But take the time to buy that special mug or that special bowl that just gives you joy when you look at it. And set up those few little beautiful things on your workspace just for you. And if you want to light a candle and you want to turn on some music, make that space and that time, give it weight and importance, because it is important.
Yeah. And if you've got to put in headphones to block out everything, do that too. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And I love the candle because I do like to light a candle in my studio space, just to have that nice little, and I have a little spray air freshener I like to spray when I go in, and it doesn't take a lot, just the littlest things to make it special. And when you were saying that about, getting things that are pretty, that, I talked about mugs and several of the things that I use, as I mentioned, I got one from Alaska. Some of them are gifts. So that when I see those, I'm not a touchy-feely kind of person, but when I see those little things that my friends gave me, because they know that I love those things and I like to use those in my space, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel connected to them in a different way. Does that make sense? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's more than just the mug I found at Home Goods. There's meaningful things. Like I have one that my friend Susan gave me, and there the watercolor palette plate that you gave me. I mean, it's here, by the way, at the beach with me right now.
Aww.
So, those are things that I feel connected to those people that I love and care about. And I don't know, it just makes it even that much more special for me. So,
yeah. So those things are important. I hope people take that away from this.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've made me cry. I think we need to end.
Oh, I didn't mean to, but
no, it's in a good way.
Yeah. So, well, good. I really like talking about this topic. This was
I did too.
I hope that it's a little hard when you can't do the visuals, but hopefully, we were able to relay as much as we could in words. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Awesome. So we look forward to our next one. And if you have comments about this episode, just find us on Instagram and you'll find the post about this episode. And please tell us your favorite things or what you took away. And did Roben-Marie make you cry too?
Oh, yeah. we do want to hear from you guys, and we appreciate you listening too.
Yes. And I wanted to say that in this week, I got an email from one of our listeners. And yeah, it was so special. Please, we love it. So please do email us.
Yep. We appreciate it. All right. Y'all have an awesome day.
All right. Enjoy the beach.
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We love hearing from you. So hop on over to Instagram and leave us a comment. And we also appreciate reviews on iTunes.
And you can find me, Sandi Keene, at sandykeene.com and my classes at popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me, Roben-Marie Smith, at robenmarie.com. And if you're looking for and need tech support, check out my membership site, makerstechu.com.